Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is June 7th. We're on episode 141. My name is Adam.
My name is Logan.
And welcome to We Geek Podcast. How's your week been, man?
Been good. Sorry, I didn't change the header here. We're 142 this week.
Oh, 142. Dude, we're in June.
I know, right? Like, the year's coming up on a half over. What the hell?
That is insane. It feels like it should be March.
I know, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, man, it's absolutely been too fast. Oh my God. I think I have Universal passes. I think all next month are completely blocked out.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm trying to go to the Volcano Bay this month as much as I can before that, because it's going to suck. Next month is the month that I absolutely will want to be going because it's going to be so hot. But,
yeah.
What can you do? But yeah, man, you just been working, just hanging out?
That and watching my neighbor's house burn down.
What?
That was frightening.
Oh my God.
I had my...
Is he okay?
They're okay. Yeah, the family in there is physically okay.
Right.
But we're not sure exactly what caused it. They think it was something electrical, but it was about 1:30 Monday night, something like that. And we heard people hollering out in the street, which is not new. We live on kind of a gathering sort of street. So it's just, we thought, oh, you know, they're having a barbecue or something across the street or something, and people are leaving. Happens all the time. And, so we went to the front windows to look out, and we're like, and then we heard people like actually screaming, but not like screaming at each other, but just like in terror. Like, the hell's going on? And we looked out and saw, oh my God, the house next door is on fire.
Oh, wow.
The thing that I will take away from this wasn't how scary it looked, but our thoughts here were get the cars out of the driveway, because our driveway is like 10 feet from that side of the house that the fire was on.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, we'll do that. And my mom got her car out of the driveway, and as I went around to get in my car, that was when the fire got out through the bedroom window. And it wasn't some big dramatic or anything, but it was, it found its way outside, and it caught the outside air and decided that's when it's going to whoosh up the side of the house. And at that moment, I was about as scared, I think, as I've ever been in my entire life, because I'm now about 10 feet away from a real fire. And
wow.
I think in that moment, if I had needed to, instead of just running back around the car and out into the front yard and saying, the hell with this, I could have just, like, vaulted the car with no problem. That's how much adrenaline was going through my system at that moment. That is the most terrified I have ever been. That is the closest to an actual like house fire that I've never wanted to be. And you know, I'm glad that everybody is okay. Everybody they got out. The smoke detector went off apparently, and they got out. They got their pet out. They've got a little dog. So physically they're fine, but the house, I think, is done. I think it's gutted. Totally.
Oh, wow.
And it was terrifying. The good news is the fire department got here pretty quick, because we live just up the street from one. And, they got it put out before it spread, but it took them a while. Because they couldn't get to some of the hot spots, so they kept flaring up. And it was a pretty terrifying night. And it gave me a whole hell of a lot different respect for firefighters now, because I've never seen something like that, like, actually happen. And, I never want to again.
Yeah. That's absolutely crazy, man. I can't even imagine.
You don't want to. The thing I will take away from it isn't the smell. It wasn't the smoke. It wasn't the way everything looked. It was the heat. Just from that moment of the fire going up and feeling how hot it was, even from that far away. I mean, you know, I've been to bonfires before and everything, but this was different because of how raw this was, and it was just it was terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
there's no better way to put it. But, so, I mean, I went out the next day and got new smoke alarms for our house and a little fire extinguisher, and now I'm just kind of paranoid checking everything, and will be for the next little while. But,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that was, that's how my week started.
Yeah, damn. Well, mine was pretty uneventful. I don't know how to follow up to that. Yeah, that's crazy, man. No, I've just been hanging out, just reading and just hanging out, watching Star Wars. Yeah, I don't know how to follow up to that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what to say. I've just been reading some books and stuff like that. I've been trying to kind of prepare for Star Wars Celebration. Did we talk about that last week?
I think a little bit, but I think you were going to be more in Star Wars mode this week.
Oh yeah, I'm full-blown Star Wars mode this week. Right now, the tickets went on sale. The Jedi Master VIP tickets sold out. They're like $850. That guarantees you into all of the panels. That sold out within seconds. The 5-day tickets are now sold out, which is crazy. So that was like $215. So if you were now going to go and you're going to do it individually, I think each day is like $75 a pop. Which, I mean, if you're going to do all the days, that's insane. Yeah, it's crazy. So I now imagine a lot of people are going to be buying the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday tickets. Possibly Thursday, because I think Thursday are going to be full of like pop stuff, all the collectibles, and you get like a jump start on getting the collectibles and whatnot and the autographs. So I don't know, but I'm just kind of preparing with a lot of my friends we're trying to get like the same place so that we can all kind of hang out and go to dinner and everything else. So but that's really all I've been doing. I've been in full Star Wars mode, man. I'm reading 2 different books right now because I kind of didn't like one of them, didn't like the other. Started an audiobook. I'm just all over the place. Total ADD.
Yeah. Which ones you trying to read?
Well, I finished the Thrawn book.
No shit.
Yeah. I thought I finished it before, but I guess I didn't. So I read the last few chapters of that.
That's funny because I just reread that yesterday.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it's so good. Well, the new one's coming out, and I thought, did I finish the last one? And then I started remembering, and I had a hard time remembering exactly what happened. And then I was like, oh, yeah, no, I guess I didn't finish it. I got through from a certain point of view, which was awesome. And the one there's 2 of them I'm trying to read now, is The Last Shot, which is Han and Lando.
Yeah.
And it's not as good. It jumps all over time, so it's a little confusing. But the other one I'm reading is Star Wars Most Wanted by Ray Carson. Which is actually pretty good. It's kind of like Lost Stars, where it's a young adult novel. And it's basically about Han and Cara before the events of the movie, them living on that planet and everything else, and it's pretty good. Nice. And while I was reading that, I remembered, I was trying to think, I was like, there was an old, because this is young adult, but there was not children, but like teenager kind of book, you know what I mean? Like more like Goosebumps or whatever, that I read a long time ago, and I couldn't remember what it was. And I knew it was Star Wars related, and I knew it had to do with Anakin and like his younger years. And then I found it, and it's called Jedi's Quest. Have you ever heard of these?
Maybe. It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, well, the first book in the series, I think, is called Jedi Quest. And I remember picking it up at the store a long time ago, and I was thinking, well, that was such a cool idea, because it was basically about him between episode 1 and episode 2.
Okay.
And I kind of wanted to know what his years were like before that. And then I saw on YouTube, the audiobook was there, and it's only like 2.5 hours long. So I started listening to that. Yeah, I'm in full, complete, just Star Wars mode right now.
Nice.
Where I'm just trying to, I went a little crazy and got I think I talked about it last week, the art of Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been kind of diving into that. That's been a lot of fun, and those DK books and whatnot. But yeah, just that's all I've really been doing. That and work.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, man, I haven't really played too many video games. Haven't really watched television. Been thinking about going through the Clone Wars from like either episode 1 all the way through or chronological order.
I know they have I want to do it chronologically, and I know they've got lists everywhere online.
Yeah, which would be cool. You kind of get to, from beginning till end. There's some really cool arcs in that show. There's some duds, of course, but I don't know, man. Because of some of the events that happen in Solo, it's really made me want to go back and kind of watch through that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, man, that's all I've been doing. We just, and then kind of like getting excited for E3 because that's right now. I mean, it's going to be starting on Saturday of all days.
Saturday? Really? I thought it was Sunday.
No, Saturday is when it starts.
Okay, well, who's doing? Do you have who's okay? Because I know Microsoft and Bethesda are on Sunday.
Yeah, let me pull it up here for you.
Yeah, so who's doing
EA is Saturday.
EA is well, they don't count.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. My expectations are very low, but with the crap year that they've had, just all the controversies with the loot crates, what they did with Star Wars of all franchises. Like, how do you screw that up? For a video game, like that has to be of course, outside of like Mario and the first party or whatever, the biggest third party title or property that you could own, right? Any studio would love to have the license of Star Wars.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So to screw that up so bad, this would be, if they did it right, because there was a time where EA meant quality. And I know that time is long gone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But I love a comeback story, and again, my expectations are extremely low. But, I would love to hear them come out and be like, we're done with these. We've learned our lesson. Here's what we're working on. They have Anthem that they've been working on and teased last year. Yeah. So, we're going to hear about Anthem. I'm sure we're going to hear about Madden and all the other normal stuff. Battlefield. But I'm interested. I'm of course in Star Wars mode right now. So I am interested in hearing if they have anything about what they've been working on, because the company who did Titanfall, Respawn.
Yeah.
They've been working on a Star Wars game for 3 years now.
And I am excited because Sony had a big, I don't know, did you see they had a flash sale or something last week? And Titanfall 2 was like $4.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'll pay I got $4. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
it's totally worth it.
It's really fun. Sounds like,
I think that game was worth it full price. It's just, they really screwed up how they present and when they presented it. They put it smack dab between Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Which was a total mistake. That kind of game needs to come out in February.
Yeah.
When there's nothing out and it's like, hey, let's all latch onto this. When will these studios learn? I mean, movie studios are starting to learn that with Deadpool and stuff. Video games need to realize that the people playing these games nowadays, they don't have a summer break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding.
We work all year long. So for a game to come out in February would be actually nice, instead of it all shoved in November when we're trying to buy everyone else presents and stuff and we're not really thinking about ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah. Saturday is EA.
Okay, yeah.
Sunday is Microsoft. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's just gonna do times. EA's at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. And Microsoft on Sunday is 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Bethesda is 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
On Monday, Square Enix is 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Ubisoft 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
PC Gaming Show 6 p.m.
Nobody cares.
Hey, I care.
I kid the PC people, but I'm happy for them. Good for them.
The thing is, they're going to show a lot of games that you just can't get on console. Like, it's going to be the ones that are weird and, just completely complicated. The kind of shit that I'll dive into for a few hours on a PC. But yeah, everything else can be all these other shows. Sony is going to be at 9 p.m. And then Tuesday, we're going to be getting Nintendo's at 12 at noon Eastern time.
Yeah, that's when they'll drop their direct.
Yep.
All right. Predictions for... We talked a little bit about EA. What about Microsoft? Is this the year we finally get a Halo 6 announcement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. Microsoft is absolutely going to be dropping Halo. They're going to be doing Gears of War. Those two are guaranteed going to be announced. Obviously, they haven't announced anything yet, but I'm just saying, like, those 100% I think are going to be on the list there. They need games. They need to talk about games. Did you see that Crackdown has been delayed?
Again?
Again.
God, it was just delayed a few months ago, wasn't it?
Let's see here. Crackdown 3. Sources say Microsoft delays Crackdown 3 to 2019.
Wow. Damn.
Which is just absolutely just... Microsoft needs games. They're doing everything right, except that.
And that's and even I've talked to people who are diehard Xbox fans, and they don't have any problem conceding that at least this current generation, Sony is kicking ass with exclusives.
Yeah,
they just are. It's not enough to make them buy a PlayStation, but there's no illusion that Microsoft does not have the kind of first-party depth that Sony has. They just don't.
They don't. I mean, we're getting God of War and Spider-Man in the same year.
And then next year we're gonna get, The Last of Us Part 2 and Days Gone, and I don't even remember what all the hell else.
Possibly Final Fantasy, the first episode or whatever, or 7.
I hope so next year, but I'm not, my hopes are not tremendously high for that. Because we don't know where they are. We'll find out this weekend, I guess.
It doesn't make sense to me. Why isn't Microsoft making a new Perfect Dark game? Like, why aren't they?
Because they've got Rare making cartoon garbage. See, here's the thing. Sea of Thieves was a great idea. Sea of Thieves could have been a very fun idea. Sea of Thieves did not really work out. And Rare has become the we're gonna do goofy cartoon shit studio since Viva Pinata. They're not the Nintendo 64 Rare that made them what they are.
Right.
They did a Killer Instinct thing that was, when it was announced, it was a surprise. Oh, we stopped playing, whatever the QuickTime event game was they were playing. Was it Age of Exiles or something, something Roman Empire or something? Rise, Son of Rome, I think. And they were like, oh, this game's done installing. And they didn't even say anything. They just started playing Killer Instinct. And then they did a little of that and moved on to something else. And I was like, you guys just buried that. Like, that should have been a huge pop. And you buried it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rare goes on to do Sea of Thieves, which, again, was an interesting idea. It looked cool. I was totally in. And the execution was just meh.
Right.
And I'm, Rare needs to, and I'm gonna say it this way, Rare needs to be allowed to go back to being Rare, because I believe they're working under fiat from Microsoft, and I think that's what's killing it. I have absolutely zero evidence to support that claim. It's a wild, just baseless accusation, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's It's crazy to see what that studio has done in the past and what it's doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the studio that made Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? It's crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just. I mean, I'd love them to come on stage and just announce, yeah, our next game is Perfect Dark or something. I'm just trying to think of Microsoft properties that I would want to play.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
didn't they have, what was that RPG that they had that looked like Chrono Trigger? They had the guy that did the animation for Dragon Ball do it.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was a dragon. Blue Dragon, I think. Blue Dragon?
I'll take your word for it. I don't remember.
It was on the 360. It was a JRPG. It would be crazy if they did something like that.
Yeah,
I would love something like that.
Yeah, Blue Dragon, that was it.
Yeah. They have these properties like what game is oh man, my mind is just melting right now. Sorry. Isn't BioWare working on a game?
A Star Wars game, aren't they?
I think they were working on an original. Oh no, they're doing Anthem.
That's right. They're working on Anthem. That's right.
Okay. So, do you think? Okay, so they'll probably talk at EA.
Yeah.
EA. Okay. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of properties that came out on Xbox that blew me away, and KOTOR was one of them. So when I think of KOTOR, I kind of think of Xbox, and when I think of KOTOR, I think of like that studio, and it's just everything's kind of fallen flat. I can't think of other exclusives that Xbox has that they could pull out of their pocket and be like, oh yeah, we're working on this.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing of like Halo's big, and they'll Halo 6 will be a smash when it comes out. Whatever the next Gears of War game is will be big when it comes out. But I mean, what are their other like giant exclusives? Forza, for racing fans. But I mean, that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like seriously, like I'm not trying to just
they
say
don't have half a dozen studios like Sony does, so that's
exactly,
it is kind of hard. But I hope they surprise us with something, especially if it's new. That'd be great. A new IP that just is fresh. The problem is anything they've announced in the last few years have all been canceled or delayed. Yeah,
it doesn't send the greatest message in the world when you're like, and we're making Crackdown, and that was like 3 years ago.
Exactly, yeah.
Just, and I'm not somebody who's rooting for them to fail because I think that the competition is good, and also because I own an Xbox and I would love to have more stuff to play on it. I know that State of Decay 2 is good from what I've been hearing. People are saying it's it's got some bugs and some glitches because every game does, but it's not like Assassin's Creed Syndicate level bad. But I've talked to some people who've played that and they're hooked on it, and cool, that's great. I don't hear that game making a lot of noise though.
State of Decay is a franchise that I don't know exists until someone talks about it.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is exactly the problem when you're like, oh yeah, that's a thing. I totally forgot about that. That's bad. That's not what you want.
Yeah. And, PlayStation kind of has the same problem with some of its things. Like, what's that game coming out that's a zombie game?
Days Gone.
Days Gone, yeah.
Yeah, they just did that was day 2 of their countdown to E3 thing. They announced the release date for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. What is it?
The release date or the game?
Yeah, the release date.
February 22nd of next year.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, hey, that's a great time to release a game like that.
There you go. See? Case in point.
Perfect timing. I forgot what game came out in February that was a zombie game that I remember a lot of people liked. It was like a parkour zombie game.
Oh.
It was on PlayStation.
Okay.
Oh man, if I could spell parkour, hold on.
I don't.
Yeah, okay. So I'll get it in just a second. It's Dying Light. I remember when Dying Light came out.
Oh yeah, okay.
And
yeah.
It had no hype going into it, and there was nothing else around it. And I remember my friends like, "Hey, this thing's getting great reviews, and like it looks fun and it's cool," and it blew up. So much so that I know some people that still play that game today,
Yeah.
because of all the expansions and stuff they came out with. That's another one that like Days Gone perfect to put it out then, because it is kind of the game that people are like, hey, wait a second, this is another zombie game. How much can we do this without it becoming old? So yeah, that's, yeah, I guess it would help if I owned an Xbox where I could remember. But I have a PC. I could totally play this on my PC. It's just I don't know. I want them to do something different. Like a JRPG would be something great for Xbox to come out with.
Yeah.
Or just, I mean, RPG in general. Any of these consoles right now, I want a good RPG, a long RPG to dive into, because that seems to be lacking the most this generation, I think.
Yeah,
There's a few of them on PlayStation, but that's it.
Well, and I think the problem is because they don't sell the way that they need to in this market anymore.
Right. Right. It's not 100 people jumping off of an airplane.
Exactly. What's the thing that's coming out? Was it Octopath Traveler or something?
Oh yeah, for the Switch. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. See, I think that'll do and it's great that that's coming out on Switch, because I think that is the perfect kind of place for that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm going to be diving into that. Absolutely. Yeah, the Switch has a lot of great RPGs. So maybe I should take back what I just said a few moments ago, because the Switch is killing it with that. And the PlayStation is too, don't get me wrong. It's got Persona and stuff. But like, I want like a KOTOR. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want an actual Mass Effect game. Like just something big and meaty, that's not Fallout. Because we're gonna get another one of those.
Yeah. I'm not excited for Fallout 76 or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, what they're doing is they're taking and they're making a survival game out of Fallout, but have they not paid attention to the last year or two, where the games that people are obsessed with are those survival games with all the survival stuff taken out of it?
Yeah.
It's like they looked at, DayZ and H1Z1, and they were like, everyone's making games about one side of that. Let's make it about the other that no one's interested in. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Don't get me wrong. I don't want a game about 100 people coming out of a vault, and building stuff, but it didn't make sense, I guess, is what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get jumping on the bandwagon, but taking the stuff that people are all leaving out of their games, I don't know. Like, when people play Fortnite, they don't play that other side. I don't know anyone that plays the other side, where it's just about survival and it's horde mode.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not excited about Fallout anyway. Like, that whole universe just does nothing for me, at all. Like, remotely. The trailer looks cool. I like the music. It was a song from the 70s, which was a little weird. Usually it's from, like, the 50s and stuff.
Well, I guess that's because what year it's set in.
Yeah. So, wait, I thought the Fallout stuff was done... we don't have to go into the lore of Fallout.
Oh god, don't. Yeah, the timeline for Fallout is
because I thought it was way beyond the 70s.
Well,
they just listened to old music. I don't know.
It is. And that's the thing of, like, most of the vaults never opened when they were supposed to. I think because like this. It looks like, because every vault that we've seen has had some kind of failure or has been some kind of experiment or something horrifying, like in Fallout 3. This one looks like the vault, this looks like the control vault. Here are people who are actually just kept in a bunker, happy, fed, and taken care of, and all the stuff that's promised, until the day that they, until it's, what do they call it, Reclamation Day. When it's like, now it's safe to go outside again. And so what happens when you're and I guess maybe that's the the conceit for this game is that you're not somebody who's had to deal with any kind of craziness or weirdness in your vault, and then you're thrust out into, this nuclear wasteland you're left with. You're just a normal person. You lived a normal life, and then the doors open, and what the hell happened?
Right. And I imagine they probably have, they have this thing, they have this engine that they did with Fallout 4. They have all of this stuff. They have the building thing that they put in Fallout 4, which just seemed so pointless. And they're probably like, hey, look, we can make a quick game out of this.
Yeah.
And push it out. What do you think Bethesda is going to come out and talk about? We know a few things, right? We know we know they're going to do the Fallout. They've already announced all that. What was the other one they did? The Wasteland one.
Rage 2.
Rage 2. So that was leaked. What else do you think Bethesda? Because those are the two big ones.
And I think those are going to be their main points of focus. And I really want them just to end their show with nothing but a logo that says Elder Scrolls 6. I don't need a subtitle. I don't need anything else. I just want them to say, as kind of a teaser of like, here's what we're going to talk about next year. Like, just let that be the implication of like, thank you all very much for coming. This has been a great E3. We look forward to next year, and then throw the logo up on the screen, and the dude walks off stage. Like,
right.
Let that be that. I'd be good with that. I'm okay with that. I don't need a new Elder Scrolls this year because they're working on so much other shit.
Oh yeah, no, I do not expect a new Elder Scrolls this year. I know that they just released the Somerset expansion for the MMO, which they're killing it. Apparently, they're just making a killing with that expansion.
Well, and it's good. Like anybody I've talked to that's played it really enjoys it.
Oh yeah. I think IGN gave it an 8. A great, for the expansion. So like, yeah, no, my brother is obsessed with it. He's playing it all the time. He's actually asked me this morning. I'm like, no, dude, I got a bunch of things I got to do. But it is a fun MMO on the console, and it is a legit MMO, a huge world expanding, just chock full of lore and things to do and places to go and cities to visit. You can role play and do whatever the heck you want, and it's set in the Elder Scrolls universe, and it's great. But I don't want them to get away from the main series. I want a fully fledged Elder Scrolls game to come, and I hope they've been working on it.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I want that announcement as well. I think that would be fantastic. I don't know what they would do, where they would set it, the time frame. I have no idea, but I just want it to be like, okay, we're going to be working on this. It will be talked about next year, and then, hopefully released soon after that.
Because I feel like Fallout 76 is going to be something this year.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Fallout's going to be this year, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Bethesda's very good about announcing games and it coming out that year or early the next.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It's not like Microsoft or Sony where it's like, here's a game we're working on. You will see it at some point in time in your life.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Because, I mean, what was it, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, Sony had like the best conference ever, and we haven't seen most of those games. We're getting God of War now, we're getting Spider-Man now, but like...
Yes, I think it was... three, I think.
3, yeah.
Well, because that was the big
Shinobi, or not Shinobi, but
Shenmue. Yeah, that was the year of Shenmue, Final Fantasy, and The Last Guardian, which, to be fair, did come out that year.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess what I mean is that Microsoft and Sony are notorious for being like, here's something that will eventually come out. Where Bethesda, to me, they've been killing it. Them and Ubisoft have just been workhorses. Bethesda, it's just crazy to think just a few years ago we were like, what could Bethesda have a conference about? Like, what, they're going to talk about 1 or 2 games, and they've been killing it ever since.
Well, and when they decided to have a conference and they were like, oh hey, by the way, Doom, and freaked everybody the hell out. Or no, was it Doom the first year or the second year? Because I know Fallout was the first year. I think wasn't their big thing Fallout 4? God, that's right, they did do both, didn't they?
Because they did Doom and then they did like Doom VR, I think, the next year.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I hope, I don't even know what other kind of franchises Bethesda has. Like, if they were to surprise us.
The
Starfield. I completely forgot about that.
Oh God,
Okay,
that's right.
That's the. I say I completely forgot about that, but that's one franchise I am excited for.
Yeah.
Because it's there instead of Fallout, like the Waste, whatever, and Elder Scrolls where it's fantasy. This is like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Fallout could be sci-fi, I guess, because of the weird robots and stuff like that. But like planet hopping sci-fi. Starfield, yes. So that's my prediction. I think they're going to definitely talk about Starfield. I think that's the one that they're just happy hasn't been leaked yet. Everyone's talked about it, but you know what I mean? Like they haven't had Walmart put out like a Starfield thing. I think they had to jump the gun, and good on them too. I like that Bethesda's not like they don't live in a world where they have to pretend that when everything leaks and they're like, let's just not talk about it until E3. They're like, look, everyone's talking about it. Let's jump on it. Let's talk about it now. Let's get it out of the way, and let's tease it. And that's what they did with the Big Ben and all that other stuff with the paint. Really smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want them to talk about Starfield because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I want a big, meaty RPG for this generation, and a sci-fi one at that would be fantastic. Where, think about Elder Scrolls in space.
Yeah, right.
All the different races and creatures and planets and oh man, it would be fantastic. But yeah, so we talked about Bethesda. Is there any other predictions you're thinking about?
Not for Bethesda. I think that's pretty well got it covered.
And we don't really know. We talked a little bit about Microsoft, but they're apparently going on for 4 hours.
God, are they really?
Yeah, they have a 4-hour show.
What the hell are they going to talk about for 4 hours? Okay, well then in that case, 1 hour of that is going to be Halo. And I mean, it's going to be Halo 6, it's going to be some spin-off game, it's going to be whatever TV series they've been working on forever.
Halo Battle Royale. People would play that. Halo's
I'm telling you, it'll happen. That'll be a mode in Halo 6 multiplayer. I guarantee you it will. I will guarantee you. And hell, it may be a standalone because they could do that. That would be a surprise.
Fun as hell.
Imagine that. And don't even bother. I don't care if they cleverly title it or if they just call it Halo Battle Royale. Like because that's a mode they could implement right now.
Well, I was joking with my friend the other day, but then I kind of was like, actually, no, I would totally buy this. Bungie's making Destiny right now, right?
Yeah.
They just announced all their new stuff. And my friend was like, what if they had a Battle Royale mode? And I'm like, I'm not kidding, because that gameplay is the best for shooters.
That's true.
Yeah. And so a Halo game like that, too, would be just freaking phenomenal. We already have Call of Duty doing it. Why wouldn't the other, companies jump on it? And I get it. It's a bandwagon and and it's going to flood the market, but fuck it. I would love good mechanics, in a game like that where, Fortnite is fun. It's also a free game. The shooting mechanics are not that good. That's the worst part about that game. But if you had an actual, I would drop $60 on a Halo game like that, or Destiny or whatnot. Anything like that where the mechanics are really good. I imagine Call of Duty is going to be a big part of that conference as well.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Or I guess they've been sleeping with Sony a little bit.
They really have. They've been in bed with Sony for a while. So I would imagine look for Battlefield to be a big part of Microsoft's conference.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, it looks great.
It won't be anything we didn't see at EA's show, I'm sure.
I imagine they've been working on Gears of War. So they'll probably have a big Gears of War thing.
They gotta have something.
Yeah, Gears of War and Halo are their two big golden eggs right now. So I imagine those two will take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. 4 hours. You'd think they'd be announcing a new console or something with that much time.
I know, right? Seriously.
Yeah. It's kind of like, wait a second.
I mean, are they gonna do half an hour on the HoloLens again? Because that thing is just a boondoggle. Like
It's such a cool concept that was a cool video to send to like the older people in my family to be like, look what technology can do.
Yeah.
But it's totally non-existent.
Yeah, but that will never come to homes. Like the kit for that is what, like $2,500?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I don't understand, yeah.
So it's like that's a cool concept that's never gonna be a real thing. Not in this not for a decade at least is that gonna be even remotely a thing. Look look how long VR took.
Yeah.
You know
what's crazy though?
What?
I bought this $30 headset thing. My phone does VR.
Okay.
My iPhone 10, it does AR VR thing.
Sure.
And so yeah, there was this like $30 kit I saw at Barnes and Noble, and I downloaded some apps and stuff like that. And you just put it inside of the headset, and the application you set what headset. I guess there's a ton of them out there.
Oh yeah, it sounds kind of like a Samsung Go or a Google Dream kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like a $30 thing.
Nice.
The goggles inside of the headset remind me of the PlayStation ones, and you put that in there, and suddenly you're doing VR without the crazy ridiculous rig or anything like that. It's definitely toned down, but like you move around and you look around and it knows where your eyes are at and stuff like that. It's crazy.
I'll tell you what, man. Have you seen the Oculus Go?
No. Okay,
it's a $199 Oculus standalone like basic VR headset.
Oh, okay.
It's if you're somebody who doesn't want, if you're like, I just want VR, like you want to watch, you're somebody who's like, I want YouTube VR.
Want some VR porn? There you
go. Or yeah, like no joke. Or, like Netflix or something like that, and you just want to watch it in VR. This is that model. It's very stripped down, kind of basic. It's smart. Yeah, it's a very standalone kind of VR, and I want one. And it's the best thing is it's $199.
That's perfect.
It's $200 for a 32 gig standalone VR headset.
Yeah.
And it's all like it pairs with your phone, but it doesn't stay. It's one of those things where like it's not wired. You don't have a big. You don't have to have a big setup to run it through. It's VR for the masses. It is the perfect base model.
That's awesome.
And it's fantastic. And I forget when it came out, like a month ago, I think. But I keep putting like $5-10 aside because I'm like, I want one of those. Because that's what I would love to have a PSVR. But that's, we've talked about that. But like,
well, that's not too shy from that $200.
And that's true. Like
that's you saving like 3 more months.
Yeah. And that's coming down, and I would expect, I don't know if we're going to get a new model VR before the PlayStation 5 comes out. I doubt it. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's another price drop in the near future. And so that would make that something to look into, because it's what now? The bundles are what, like $349, $299, some of them?
Yeah. Let's see here.
I think like the bundle that has everything, that has the headset, the Move, and the Eye, is like $349, I think.
Okay. Let's see here. Bundle.
Yeah, the one that
$349.
Yeah, and that's not a bad deal. That's really not.
No. And I imagine that will probably drop. I mean, you could go on eBay and get it too, but I don't know, a used VR, because that's on someone's face. You might not want to.
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, but you could get for $299, the Doom bundle comes with the camera, the headset. It just doesn't come with the controllers.
Yeah, and the Move controllers are not cheap. Separate. Yeah. They're, I think, $60, 60 or 70 separate. Like, yeah, they're like.
Oh my God, they're $100.
God, they're not that. No, they're not.
A 2-pack for $100.
Yeah, but is that a 2-pack as in both joysticks or a set of 4?
You get 2 of them. A 2-pack.
Yeesh.
And you need both of them. So
yeah, you need the left and the right. God, it's really $100. Damn.
But then again, there's also a lot of games that you just use the controller for too. You don't have to. It's only some of them you need the.
That's right. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you wanted to just like Doom, you don't use those. I don't think you use the controller.
Yeah,
which is why I don't think it comes with it. But I mean, for an extra $50, you're saving yourself. You're actually saving money if you need those by getting the 249. Yeah, it's a lot. But the options are there. That's why it's good. You have the $200 option where you're going to get the VR where it looks like it's mostly for like media and stuff like that in some games. And if you want to spend more money, you can get the PlayStation. And if you want to be a crazy person, you can get the out of control stuff.
Yeah.
And if you have a really good smartphone, you can get the $30 thing. So like VR is available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is definitely something that's people can grab onto. But that HoloLens shit.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man. But yeah, okay, so, and we already kind of talked about EA, right? We think they're probably going to do their sports stuff, maybe some Star Wars, but what other studios we got? Square Enix, I don't even know what they're going to be doing.
Square is going to be Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, that's right. I hope that they do. Now, rumor is that they're talking about doing that Marvel game. Well, we know they're doing a Marvel game.
Yeah, we know they are doing one, yeah.
Right. Rumor has it that they're going to be doing they're going to bring back the Ultimate Alliance series, which would be fun. I'd love
that would be awesome.
A top-down, or, even if it was first person, or however they did it, where basically you had 4 people running around. You can play with your friends and stuff like that. Put it on all the systems. Oh, I would love that on a Switch. I would love that. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that too. I actually took off Monday so I could sit and watch all day.
Yeah, I didn't plan for it, but I'm at least off Monday night. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you get to see Sony.
Yeah, I'll get to see, because like with the way my schedule is now, I will miss EA's. I'm not too bent out of shape about that.
Yeah.
I might be able to catch the start of Microsoft's if I work really, really fast. But I'll definitely catch, especially if it's 4 hours, I'm not going to miss all of it. And then Monday, I may miss Squares, which that kind of bums me out.
Yeah.
But, that's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm trying to get to, Volcano Island this weekend, or Volcano Bay. So whenever I get back, I'll definitely watch it. I'm sure it'll be online. I kind of want to stay away from the internet this weekend, so that I don't want it all spoiled.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Like you want to watch it,
and it's gonna be hard navigating YouTube to be like just to go to that to watch those videos without all the other stuff popping up, because if there's a big surprise announcement, it's gonna be there.
Just go to the company. Just just go to YouTube and then search.
That's what I mean. Like if I go to EA's YouTube channel, they're gonna have their E3 conference, but then they're gonna have 15 videos about the new Star Wars game or what have you.
Well, then just search.
You know what I mean? Like
No, I get you.
Turn off my computer, and be like, play E3, and then play it, and then I can look at it.
Just eat. Eat.
You know what?
EA E3 press conference, and that should be the first thing up, and just like cover the bottom half of the screen with your hand or something.
That's true. I guess I could tell my phone, hey Siri, play oh shit, it's starting. Hold on, I didn't mean to do that. Listen to me. Yeah, oops. Hey, it works great. I will say that phrase and be like, play EA's 2018 conference on YouTube. I'm sure I'll actually find it, so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, that's the plan. I work Sunday, so same thing. I'll be working. When I get off, I'll watch the Microsoft and Bethesda.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What do you think Sony's gonna talk about?
Sony, well, we've kind of been getting a glimpse of some of their stuff. We know that they're bringing, what were they call them, the big four? It was, Last of Us Part 2, it was, Ghosts of, what was it, Tsushima, Spider-Man, and then there was something else that I cannot remember. Death Stranding, that was it.
Yeah.
So we know that's gonna be, like, the bulk of their show. Those are their four big things. And they've been doing like, they're doing a countdown to E3, like they started yesterday, when they announced, a new Tetris game of all things. And
I loved that trailer.
It's a cool trailer and it looks neat and you're like, oh yeah, it's just it's a new version of Tetris that looks wacky in VR, I'm sure.
See, man, like, one of my favorite things with the PlayStation VR when I had it, and critics destroyed it, they hated it, was the Harmonix music app thingy. And essentially what it was what are those things with PCs that they used to have where it would play music and then it would just make a visual.
The visualizers, yeah.
The visualizer, yeah. It was like that, but in a virtual reality space, and you could put any song into it, and all of the crazy stuff around you would go to the beat. You felt like you were on LSD or something inside of but it was playing your music. So imagine you playing your favorite music, surrounded in that. And everything, all the weird elephants and all the weird stuff that it would show you would just vibrate to the beat. And it was weird and fun. I imagine putting on your VR headset and playing a giant Tetris game in front of you while everything's kind of waving to the beat of the music that's playing.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds fun as hell. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Yeah.
So they're calling
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're right. No, they're calling it a Tetris effect, and they did like a voiceover about the Tetris effect, which I did not know was a real thing. But I was like, nah, they've made this up. No, it's legit. It's a real thing.
You know, Rock Band has the same effect. If you play Rock Band,
yeah,
or whatever the other one was,
Guitar
Hero, for however long, and then you look away from the TV screen, your wall will do that.
Yes, it will.
Thing.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. So
that messes with you, man, because you're watching, and it's because you're watching the motion of that thing. Your eyes get used to that, and then you look at something stationary, and they have to adjust because your brain is anticipating that. So it has to quickly rewire itself. No, this thing isn't moving. So it's like it screws with your perception.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun, and that's it. That's the secret about VR games. I think when people get VR, they're like, I'm gonna play this big, massive, like, I can't wait to just dive into this world. And no. The best games are the smaller, like almost like Atari level games, but in a 3-dimensional space. Those are the ones that really are fun. I'm trying to think of the one that I played. I can't think of the name of it, but it was just awesome.
Was it the tank? I know you were big on the tank one?
Yes, the tank one. Battlezone. Actually, that was like an old school arcade game. And that was one of my favorites. The other one was Rez Infinite.
That was the other one, yeah.
And where you are behind, Battlezone was the tank one, which is awesome because it feels like you're on a Universal Studio Rise where you're sitting in the tank, and it was perfect for VR because you are stationary, you can look around, and you're kind of moving around with the tank and shooting other players. Rez was a third person where you're behind the character, like you're like God or whatever. You're behind him and he's floating in space. And you're moving him around, and you're zapping these things that are coming in front of you. Those are the best kind of games. Now, I haven't played the Star Trek one. The Battlefront was awesome. The Batman one was okay. But the smaller games, to me, were just the best. And the horror games. Oh, God. The Room, or which was... the Resident Evil thing?
Yeah.
Jesus. Those are frightening. I don't know if they have an Alien one, but they totally should have one.
Yeah, if Isolation had been a VR game, it probably would have sold better.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um,
And if it had been made better, by all accounts, but
I hear Super Hot for VR is the best,
yeah,
which makes sense because it's fun otherwise. But yeah, man. But anyway, so you think Sony talks about VR a lot? What do you think they're gonna? I guess yeah, they're gonna be talking about their Tetris.
yeah. There'll be some VR. It'll kind of be. It's gonna kind of be like the Vita stuff was, in like it's gonna be sort of stuffed in its own segment for the most part. Yeah. I think the big thing is going to be a price drop. I think it's time that we had a public one anyway.
Yeah.
Like everything, like all the other price drops have kind of been like, oh hey, by the way, the VR is now cheaper, and you've just kind of noticed it.
Give me a $250 with everything included.
Yeah, that'll and it'll sell. It'll absolutely sell.
I might actually get because I sold mine when it was still. Because I was like, I don't know when this thing's going to drop. I should just sell and get all my money back. And I did. Because it was a fun experience, but I was like, I'm not playing it. So,
yeah, that's fair.
But for $250, yeah, that's definitely that's a selling point. And now there's all this other stuff on it, like Skyrim and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, because the Skyrim VR bundle is one that has everything, and it's $349.
Yeah.
So they drop just give me a $50 price drop across the board.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy. Like that's something I could look at and go, okay, that's smart. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's going to kind of be the extent of their VR. I don't think we get a new model. I don't think there's going to be like a PSVR 2.
Well, technically, they have a new model.
Yeah, but, I mean, like,
the one that's out now is better than the one that I had.
Right, but, I mean, it's more like they kind of quietly upgraded everything instead of, like, it wasn't something they made a big deal about.
Right, exactly.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's kind of like when they had to change, when they did different, models for the PS3 right after it first launched.
Right.
Because you had the ones that were backwards compatible and the ones that weren't.
Right.
It was that kind of thing of like, oh, they just kind of updated some stuff and didn't tell anybody really.
Exactly. Yeah, they moved around where like a lot of things plug in, so it's not as many plugs, and the ear where the heads where the earpiece goes and everything is much better. So like little things like that. So you're absolutely right. It's not like you get in where it's like, oh, this one's 4K now or something. It's just little inconvenient things that were with the older model are more convenient with the newer one is all really it was.
And I think if as we're winding down the PS4's life cycle, I just don't think it makes sense.
Oh no.
Even though it's going to be, 3 years, I still think you stick with this model until the PS5.
Do you think the PS5 will have an integral VR part of it? Like, do you ever see PlayStation saying, "Here's our PlayStation 5. It's a console where you can play and plug it into the TV, but we're also selling it with this bundled with the new VR headset."
I think that's going to be the question. I think that's if Sony is really serious about VR. If they really want to push this forward, then yes. If they're going to say, here's the PS5, here's the standard basic model, or for an extra $150, which I think is fair, you get the PSVR, or $200. I'll give them $200, but I wouldn't go crazy above that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, PS5 is going to start at $400.
Right.
Easy. You can get the base PS4, and you can enjoy all of these games, and, no big deal. There is no downside to not having VR. That needs to be the message.
Right.
But
this is the premium product if you wanted to get the whole thing bundled together. But if you just want to stick to the tried and true PlayStation, and here's your PlayStation 5, we have that model for you, and it's $200 cheaper.
And I'm going to say something else. It needs to start with PS4 display specs. Like, it needs to be 4K and HDR and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it has to start there.
See, that's where you get into it being just $200 extra would be pushing it to have PlayStation 4 graphics in it, because then you're talking more of like, then you're getting into like Vive territory.
But I think that you have to bite the bullet on this. I think that if you're, It's why. Look how well when
No, I
they
agree.
when
It's
they
just
when they announced the PS4 at the price point that they did. That was a huge, that helped. That boosted the idea of oh yeah, because the 360 outsold the PS3. Microsoft won that generation.
did it though?
Yes.
I thought PlayStation 3 sold more consoles.
I maybe globally, I'll give you that, but in terms of the perception, at least, which has a huge impact on market share as well.
Mm-hmm.
It by all accounts, 360 just kicked ass. And part of that was price driven. It seemed like they were announcing a price drop or something every other year.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped, and people bought 360s like crazy. And yeah, I know the PS3 did catch up with the Slim and everything, but it got off to a rough start and it had to catch up. Flash forward a generation, and it's flipped.
God. I'm looking at Wii sold 101 million.
Yeah, everybody owned a Wii. It was ridiculous.
Right. 360, 84, PlayStation 3, 83.8. So yeah, it was just right under it. But then they also had, at the same time, a PSP, which sold 82 million.
Well, yeah, because God, they sold 82 million PSPs?
Yeah.
Jesus. I didn't know people bought that many PSPs. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, imagine first handheld PlayStation system.
Yeah, but damn.
10 to 15 million for the Vita.
Yeah, that sounds more like it. Because I think what happened was everybody went out and bought a PSP and then it died. Because Sony did not support the PSP at all.
Well, no. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people bought the PlayStation Portable because it was you could put homebrew games on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Once they cracked it, then it was just a free-for-all of them buying the console.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah.
But I think that I think that Sony has to see what they did and balance the idea of, do we come out at $500? No, you don't. It cannot be the PS 500. It can't.
Yeah.
It's got to be the PS4 or it's got to be PS5 at $399. And you have to
talking about it. It makes me think that they're not going to do a bundle because I can't imagine them doing a bundle and them keeping it at $200 extra for the VR headset.
Because I think $700 is such a stretch. I think people are going to look at that and balk. I really do. I don't think that that's something. I think that that's the lowest value they could probably sell it at. I think even then they'd probably be selling it at a loss. But looking at it from a consumer side of things, if I looked at a bundle and said, but the VR experience is $300 more, which, to be fair, is what we're talking about now, I think that it just looks, we can talk about, it's value and blah, 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 and do all the math, but when you look at it, $700 is just too much.
No, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, it's way too much. That's why I don't think they would bundle it now. I think it would just be, here's the PlayStation 5, and then the next year it's like, hey, we're new. Here's our new VR headset, or a year or two down the road.
I would like to see it at launch, though. I really would. And
that'd be neat.
If they decide, because I know we're gonna get it. The speculation will really start next year. I know people kind of talked about PS5 this year a little bit. Sony came out and kind of, and kind of put an end date on the PS4 a little bit of just we're kind of winding down here. We're working on what's next, which everybody expects. That's not a surprise.
Right.
But I think next year the speculation will really start, and you'll see some patents and you'll hear some rumblings from developers. But I think it's going to be in 2 years that that we'll have the announcement of end coming next year, the PS5.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree. I think next year would definitely be the year they talk about it. That'll be the big announcement. I'm sure Microsoft will be doing the same thing too, unless maybe they get the jump start on them this year. Who knows?
They just put out the One X. Microsoft is going to ride this out for a while because their numbers have been coming back. They haven't, they got off to a bad start, but they've made ground. to give them credit. But I'm telling you what, man, Nintendo came along and just blew everybody the hell out of the water. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody expected the Switch to take off like it did.
Hey, I've been praising it since day one and well before day one.
Well, but I mean...
As soon as they announced it, I was like, a handheld hybrid? That is exactly what I've been wanting.
Yeah, but a lot of people were starting to have Wii U flashbacks looking at that.
I agree.
Because I looked at that and I was like, oh, it's exactly like the Wii U gamepad, except the sides come apart. And
I guess the thing is when I saw it, I came at the point of view is, this is the 3DS successor, and that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to plug into a television.
Yeah.
I never bought a Wii U. As soon as I saw the Wii U, I thought, well, this is the Wii's successor, and it looks like a toy. And I can't take it with me. I can only play it at home.
But I think that, watching all the Switch stuff when it was first announced, I got excited. I looked at that and I was like, well, this thing looks really cool. But I was very hesitant because of the Wii U and how it had only come out a couple of years before and had crashed and been terrible. So I was cautiously optimistic, and then when it came out and everybody went, "Holy hell, this is amazing!" I'm thrilled for Nintendo. I'm so damn happy for them.
It's a little indie machine right now, and it's got a fantastic Mario game, a fantastic Zelda game, a fantastic Sonic game. You can play Skyrim on it. We're getting 2 Pokemon games within the next year. It's exciting right now to own a Switch. And then there's a ton of indie games that you might have heard of that's only been on like PC right now, and that you can play on it.
And there's Smash coming this year.
And we got Smash, of course, yeah. So, there are tons of games, and then I know the Wii U people feel burned, but me not owning a Wii U, now I can enjoy Donkey Kong, Tropic Thunder, and all these other games that were on it. It was leaked that they're releasing a GameCube controller on it, because of course they are with Smash Bros coming out. But then that just leads them into being able to release a lot of games that I never played on GameCube, Zelda, what was it? Wind Waker. I never played that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Wind Waker was fun.
So that would be fun. I think that animation style looks amazing. I know people hated it when it came out, but that stuff ages so much better.
Agreed. Yeah. It grew on me. It was something that at the time I was with everybody else. I was like, what the hell is this? And then you go back and it's a little hard to play Ocarina of Time because of the design.
Exactly.
But you can go back to Wind Waker and it's very anime, like that whole deal, and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, it holds up. It absolutely does.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ni no Kuni. You can play Ni no Kuni at any point in time in your life and it's going to look beautiful.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. And so, I hope these companies are really, because anything that tries to look, groundbreaking, realistic graphics, that lasts for so long. And then it's just, you go back to it and you're like, oh shit, Metal Gear does not look that good.
No, it really doesn't.
Right. So, things that are stylish actually stay a while. That's why I think Blizzard's games still hold up. They just look so stylish.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Apparently, Blizzard's making a new Diablo game.
That's not a surprise.
Rumor has it they're going to put Diablo 3 on the Switch, which would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, play with your friends, and that's another online game that you could put on there. That would be like, okay, well, that's worth $20 for a year,
Yeah, well, because what's there's not a mobile Diablo game. Unless unless you're carrying a laptop around with you, right? There's not a tablet version, I don't think, is there?
There's definitely not, no. And so to be able to play that kind of grindy, loot-based Diablo-style game on the go, or sitting on your couch and then going in the bathroom or hanging out around the pool, that sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
Going offline and then I don't know if you could go offline now that I think about it. I think Diablo's an online game only. Sort of mobile, I guess.
Well,
I don't know how they would do that.
Was it though? Because Diablo 2 was had an offline component.
Diablo 2, but not Diablo 3. The reason why is because of, um, I think they did it to try and prevent cheating, because it's like attached to an account and everything. It's always online. I'm pretty sure you can't play Diablo offline. Diablo 4 or 3.
I'm gonna look that up because I believe you. But I don't know for sure.
I'm pretty sure you have to connect to Battle.net because it's attached to your account.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they changed that for the Switch because they're like, whatever. But who knows? I mean, if they can get a Blizzard game on the Switch, then that gives me hope for something like Hearthstone on the Switch, because I would play the hell out of that game on the Switch.
Hearthstone on Switch would be amazing.
Yes, it's cool on my phone, but the phone's just not big enough. I want it on the Switch. I want it bigger, and man, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, and Diablo 3 does have to be connected. Bummer.
Yes, yeah. Because I mean, you think about it, you play the entire game with other people, or solo. You kind of jump into their game, they jump into yours, and whatnot. You know, I think they want it to be completely online, but that's okay. I mean, I'm okay with that. You know, like the Switch could use a few games like that, which would be perfectly fine. Maybe you can't play it on the subway, but you know, you can still play it around your house and hanging out. But yeah, I don't know. So we're talking about Nintendo. What do you think they're gonna put out?
You know what? It's gonna be a lot of Smash.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I really don't know. They're gonna talk. I'm sure there's gonna be some more Splatoon talk because there always is. But it's gonna be big on Smash, and then there'll be some Octopath Traveler. And then I don't know what else. Because I don't know what else hasn't come out yet.
I think they're going to talk about the Nintendo 64 Classic.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's already been in production. Think about it. They've done the every year they've talked about the next classic, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The last year they did the SNES. I think they already filed patents for it a year or so ago, so I imagine they'll talk about it. What games do we know are coming out? They announced the Yoshi, they announced the Metroid, they announced the Splatoon. Rumor has it they're doing a kart game for
for Star Fox, yeah.
Star Fox. I'd rather Diddy Kong Racing myself.
Well, it's supposed to be like kind of a blend of like Star Fox and Diddy Kong Racing. I was like, all right, whatever, yes, or no, F-Zero and Diddy Kong Racing with Star Fox characters, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want it to be just Star Fox though. Like, it'd be cool to have like Donkey Kong and stuff in there.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Yeah.
I think
that's why when I play Mario Kart, I'm like, can we get some other Nintendo characters in here? Now they have Zelda, right? But like, it'd be cool if it was more like Smash Bros. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, they have a huge, give me a Pikachu or something but I think the big game that would be a big surprise, which would be really cool, is if they announced the Animal Crossing game.
I think the one thing that's going to be a surprise is Fortnite.
Oh, well, no. Hasn't that been leaked already?
Not that I know. I think like there was something on like a Korean rate, like the Korean version of the ESRB. But,
okay.
I mean,
I thought that was...
Those half the time tend to be nothing. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's possible that was because I remember when that was leaked, but that was months ago. And then, like, it never went anywhere. That's what I always thought was great about stuff like that. Like, it was a thing, and then it was gone, and kind of nobody really talked about it.
Well, see, Fortnite would be another one like Diablo, where it's always online. But people would, I mean, I'd buy that on the Switch in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
Yeah, because, you can go to Salty Shacks or Tilted Towers just hanging out on your couch or whatever, in your garage. You can just walk around your house, and yeah, kids are going to eat that up, man. Do you think they announce any more Bethesda style Switch ports? Like we got Skyrim, we got Wolfenstein. Do you think they're going to put? We have Doom, so the only one really out is like Fallout, right? Fallout 3, maybe.
I think if they announce Fallout 76 on Switch, that's going to be something.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be if they honestly, if they announce Fallout anything on the Switch, it'll be a big deal.
Oh yeah, that or like Dishonored. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That would be neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if they were like, hey, we're gonna put Oblivion on there too. Why not? Fuck it. You know, I could totally see them doing that, especially now that they have that engine where they can just like shrink everything. Hell yeah. I can't think of anything else really for this. You know, the news I care about is Pokemon, and that's already been announced. So
yeah,
I'm happy. You know, with that, whatever they talk about, I'm gonna be happy. And I'm sure they'll have a bunch of weird, cute stuff that I'm just like, that's adorable. But we've kind of knocked them all out, didn't we? We didn't talk about PC gaming show, but we know that's going to be just a bunch of RTSs and just shit you can't get on other consoles, which is sometimes cool. That's like they'll have like the Warhammer stuff or something on there.
Yeah, and you know, good for them. I'm glad they have a presence somewhere other than the internet. If that's your thing, I'm genuinely happy for you. You know, enjoy it, have fun with it, run with it. It's not my thing, so I don't care.
Well, the PC gaming show, it's a weird thing because, to me personally, PC is a place to play games, and I'm not trying to sound like, you know, the PC. What do they call themselves?
The PC Master Race. Yeah.
Master Race, right? I'm not. I'm really not. But it is like you can play everything there.
Yeah.
And it's not owned by one company, so it's like, how do you do a conference about that?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's really hard when there's like, you know, 24 different manufacturers out there, big ones at least, that make PCs. You're not going to have like HP's not going to get on stage. Alienware's not going to get on stage. The only things that are going to on stage are like the games that you can only play on PC.
Yeah.
And the big ones like Warcraft and stuff, Blizzard already has their big show. So, it'll be a bunch of weird RTSs and stuff like that. They'll be like, here's the new, I don't know. Age of Empires or whatever.
No, Microsoft's got that. That's their property.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we'll see. But anyway, so that's kind of our E3 predictions. I'm excited. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
I'm hyped.
I love this time of year. And we talked about earlier, the PlayStation's like, it's on its last legs, so it feels like this is the last kind of press conference before the big console releases that are going to be talked about next year.
I think we got one more year yet. Oh
yeah, really?
I think it's a year after that. I think 2020 is when we hear, okay, we're officially working on PS. I mean, we're going to hear rumors next year, and there's going to be, everybody's going to be talking about, some developers have talked about, oh yeah, we're developing for the next Sony console, but they're not going to talk about it.
We're going to see a console that looks like a circle. It's a sphere. Remember the PlayStation 3 rumors for the longest time?
Yes, and the boomerang controller for the
boomerang.
God,
They were like, here's our new controller, and then never came out.
I'll tell you what, though, for concept art, it was kind of neat.
It looked kind of neat. No, but it was a real thing, though. You're the PlayStation 3 controller.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a prototype, but like they never actually sold that thing, did they?
That's what. No. They showed it with the announcement, and that was all. And then they were like, we went back to the drawing board and realized that the DualShock would be better. That would be a crazy thing to own.
Yeah,
like
right.
That prototype.
No
just
kidding.
To be like, here's this thing you can put in your house and frame it or whatever. Put it in a box. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm sure next week we will have a ton to talk about when we come back and talk about E3 and whatnot. How did this weekend with box office go?
Not well.
Not well at all.
Not very well at all. Solo barely cleared 29 million.
Mm-hmm.
So more disappointment for for Disney and Lucasfilm, but it's their own damn fault. And we talked about that.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2 cleared $23 million, so not far behind. Gee, what a surprise that is.
Yep.
Adrift was the big winner of the new stuff this weekend, which was not a tremendous shock, considering the competition was Upgrade, which was a kind of limited release. It was only in like 15 or 1,800 screens, and it's a very niche kind of movie, so that wasn't a surprise. And I don't even remember what the hell the other one was, because there were 3. Oh, Action Point was the other one this weekend. So again, not a shock that it didn't do mega numbers at the box office. But so Adrift at about 11.6. Infinity War still plugging along, 10.5 million. I think by now, I know that when these numbers were done, it was still short, but I think by now it's finally cleared 2 billion worldwide.
Oh, nice.
Or it's very, very close.
Yeah.
And then 5th this weekend was Book Club at 7 million. And I'm telling you what, man, I get pissed off whenever I see the crowds coming out of that theater. Because
why is that?
Oh, because they don't clean shit.
Oh, damn.
It's a mess. It's a giant mess. And now I see because we had the crowd for Bad Moms Christmas. And of course, they left all their trash behind. And now we see where they get it from, because it's the moms of the crowd who went to see Bad Moms Christmas. And they leave all their crap behind.
That's weird.
It's obnoxious as hell.
Why would moms do that? You think they're the ones, when you're a kid, yelling at you to pick up your shit.
Yeah, well, now they have people for that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But,
what do we got coming out next week?
Coming out tonight, actually. Because it is Thursday, or tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know, it's weird sometimes. Hereditary, the big A34, A24 Studios, whichever it is. I can't remember. It's A something 4. Horror movie that looks really creepy. The marketing for it's been good. Like, the trailer is genuinely unsettling.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Hotel Artemis, which is...
clicking noise.
Yeah. But, it'll be interesting to see how well Hotel Artemis does, being that it's basically a John Wick spin-off ripoff.
Right.
Pretty much.
I was explaining it to someone the other day, and they were like, "You're just talking about John Wick, the hotel from John Wick," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's it."
Yeah, it is. It is, except it's not, because they're making a TV series based on that, which is
right.
But the big one this week is going to be Ocean's 8. And has been getting good reviews.
That's good.
Actually kind of surprised. Like, they haven't been like the kind of mediocre reviews I was expecting, where it would be like, well, it's not bad. Like, it's not really great, but it's not terrible. No, they've actually been like really solid reviews, and I'm surprised and impressed. So that'll do a decent opening weekend and then crater, because it's going to be girls' night every night this weekend. And then nothing.
Oh yeah.
That'll be it. But that's fine, because next week is The Incredibles, so
Oh yeah.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that? Speaking of Hotel Artemis, Batista's in that, right?
Yeah.
Did you see that he's been talking about how he's been talking to Universal for a few years now about wanting to do a Gears of War movie?
Yeah, he wants to play Phoenix so bad.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean,
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks just like him. He could totally do it. He's been in enough movies now where he can work around that. I could absolutely see that.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think about. If someone would have told you 10 years ago that Batista would be one of the biggest actors coming out of wrestling, you'd probably be like, what? Which is crazy. Think about his movies. He has a movie that's made more than The Rock.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
It's insane.
And to be fair, it's not the kind of credit you throw away. It's not like,
No?
oh, he was some random part of this movie. He's some of the
Major part.
funniest parts of that movie.
Oh yeah, he makes a lot of those scenes. Yeah, definitely no. There's especially when it comes to Guardian movies as well. Like he is critical to those movies.
Yeah.
When it comes to the comedy and just making it flow right. I think if he was never in those movies, it would definitely damage them.
It would be different. I don't know if
think so,
damage
too.
is the right word, but it would absolutely be different for sure.
Well, yeah, maybe not damage, but I think it'd lessen it for sure. Because he is some of the best parts in it to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I love how his arguably his best line in Infinity War was improv, and it impressed the hell out of the crew.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So was it one of the Russos came up to, because they had done a take before that, and then they did the take where he gave the line, and I think it was one of the Russos came up and went, "Man, you are good at your job."
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Like that's pretty dope. Good for Dave.
And I imagine the WWE has a little bit to do with that, because a lot of that is improv. You have to just react.
Well, the best ones can.
Yeah.
A lot, we can, it's a whole other, but if, look at somebody like The Rock, who improved all the time, and got away with it because he was good at it. And I know different times and whatnot, but that's how you prove yourself in that industry, is how well do you react.
I'm telling you, when New Day is ready, they could easily make a move over to Hollywood.
Man, I'll tell you what, just starring the New Day will immediately, like, that's a guaranteed 20 million opening weekend just based on that alone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and make them a thing. Make them like those guys from Workaholics, how they're just always together as like a pack, or like Jay and Silent Bob. Have them three just be in movies as like just buds, just hanging out. That would be awesome. Yeah, I could totally see that. Like, I'm surprised that hasn't happened already. Remember when we talked about them doing the voices for the hyenas? Like, that would have been perfect for Lion King. So, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I'm happy for Batista, man. He's doing good. Let's get into some movie news. The Fox is going to do the shareholders vote pretty soon.
Yeah.
On the 10th.
July 10th. So next, because they have to, we're still waiting to hear about the AT&T Time Warner deal. And there should be, again, that should come sometime this month. So we'll, at that shareholder meeting on the 10th, it may be a vote of, do we like the Comcast deal more or than the Disney deal? Or it may just be a vote, if there is no other deal. If the Disney deal is all there is, that vote is going to be, all right, we call this vote to order. All those in favor of the Disney deal say aye. That's unanimous. We are sold. Congratulations, everyone. Like, that's going to be that entire meeting. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I hope it's not Comcast. And that's the thing, is I know a lot of my friends, and I hear people being very cynical about the whole thing, but it's one or the other.
Yeah.
You have to, it's going to be Disney or Comcast. What pick your poison, and I would have Disney every day.
Right. Do you want a company that a lot of people try to portray as some evil conglomerate that's buying up everything, but they're actually not? Or do you want an actual evil conglomerate that's buying up everything?
Exactly. Yeah. So, man. Whew. Yeah. So, fingers crossed. We got some Ant-Man and the Wasp news. Characters, posters revealed some of the characters and their outfits. And we got to see Jaina Van Dyne, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Michelle Pfeiffer looks badass.
Yeah. That was dope.
My favorite poster, though, for this week was the one of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Did you see the reactions to this poster?
No.
Because it's the internet. They flipped... It's hilarious, I think, because she's the one standing up front, like staring straight out, and he's standing behind her a little off to the side with his back to the poster, looking over his shoulder. So
Okay.
it's kind of like they've flipped the gender roles in that a little bit.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Oh my god, people have lost their shit, because of course they have, because it's the internet. And it's just, I've been laughing at this for like a day now. Because I'm like, really? This is all it takes? Are you serious? Like,
yeah, people are ridiculous.
Are we really so low that, oh my god, the guy is doing the woman's pose on the poster is enough to set people off, seriously? Like,
wow.
Oh,
I haven't seen this. I'm trying to look for it, but it's all people are just excited about the Janet Van Dyne poster.
That has been the bulk of it. That's been the biggest part of it, and that's what makes me happy. Is that's the biggest news out of that is like, wow, this poster looks dope, and it does. Right. It looks awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, man, I'm excited for that. It's gonna be out soon. That and Jurassic World.
Yeah,
right around the corner.
A month. Ant-Man is in a month. It's the 6th of July.
Yeah, we're gonna get Jurassic World at the end of this month, and then
Jurassic World in 2 weeks. Ant-Man in 4.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am pumped. I saw that Peter Jackson. Is it on the docket? No, I saw that Peter Jackson was. He talked about his involvement with the Lord of the Rings. Apparently, it's not that much. He just kind of helped out with getting the team together, but he does phone calls and stuff like that. But that's about it.
Yeah, he's going to be kind of the epitome of an executive producer, I think.
Yes.
Just like they'll call him if they need something.
Right. Like, what do you think about this decision? Well, they probably wouldn't do, Aragorn would not do that. He'll just have kind of like, like phone to the ear. Kind of like, what do you think about this?
Yeah. And that's fine by me. I'm good with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, they don't have to do that, and I'm glad they are. Let's see here. What other movie news we got? We got some Crow news. Go ahead and take it here. I'm going to get a swig of water. Mute myself.
Yeah. Everybody's out. This film was supposed to start shooting next month, and Corin Hardy, who was the director, and of course Jason Momoa, who was set to star in it, have bailed.
That's crazy.
The scuttlebutt going around is that it's creative and financial differences. So I'm thinking, and I think financial in terms of movie budget. I don't think it was a pay discrepancy. I think it was more like the studio isn't willing to spend X amount on the film. And they were trying to tell him it's going to cost this much to make it because we're doing this thing and we're doing this stuff. And they were saying, well, maybe you shouldn't do this stuff. And it got to the point where they just said, you know what? Screw it. Bye. That's my reading of the landscape. Anyway, I may be completely wrong, but either way, this movie that was going to start filming, I think in like 5 or 6 weeks, is now in some deep trouble.
Wow.
I think just leave it be because this is a cursed property.
It is, yeah. I think it is too, yeah.
So just,
crazy.
Maybe don't. Oh.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I was never a fan of the Crow movies, or the Crow movie.
But there were sequels.
Oh, there were? Jeez. Yes.
Yeah, see, exactly. They were all direct-to-video stuff.
To me, the best thing about Crow was Sting.
Yeah.
That's, that when I think of Crow, I think of Sting, and that's it. But, yeah, that's, just let it be. Let it, doesn't, make a comic. That's like, or maybe a cool animated thing. Like, it doesn't need to be this big blockbuster. I think those kind of 90 movies are just a thing of the past at this point.
Tell that to Jamie Foxx.
No, I agree. Yes, I know. Make it an animated thing, man. Every time I look at that trailer for the new Spider-Man movie, for the Miles Morales Spider-Man,
into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, did you see the new one they released this week?
It is just that is something I want on 4K.
Yeah,
like that is just beautiful looking. The animation in that is just out of this world. And the colors, like, it's just so crazy.
Yeah,
and it looks hilarious too. Like, it looks great.
Yeah, I really love that Peter is very Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He is so much just like, when did you teach me how to web swing? I didn't, It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, sure, thanks, Pete.
Right. Who is voicing Peter Parker in that?
Oh man, I knew you were gonna ask me.
It sounds like Little Dicky, but I know it's not. Like, rewatch the trailer and listen to his voice and tell me it does not sound like Little Dicky. Because I'm like, is he gonna rap? Like, what? It's Jake Johnson he's been in like Jurassic World and stuff like that. The guy from New Girl.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited for it. That it just, when I saw the first thing, I was like, oh, they're doing animated. That's going to be interesting. And it looked awesome in the first teaser thing. But now it just, and then at the end you see Gwen Stacy and he's just like, save it for Comic-Con. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, what's Comic-Con?
Right. What's Comic-Con? So yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited. That's going to be great. We got some Addams Family news?
Yeah, because they're doing an animated Addams Family movie.
Okay.
And we finally have basically a full voice cast. Gomez, I think we knew. I think this was leaked or announced a while back, is going to be Oscar Isaac. Charlize Theron is going to be Morticia. Bette Midler is going to be Grandmama, which I think is fantastic.
Okay.
Chloe Grace Moretz is Wednesday, of course. Finn Wolfhard as Pugsley, another fantastic choice, and Nick Kroll as Uncle Fester. Like that whole voice cast is perfect. Like that's perfect. That is really, really nice. And I know, I am one of the people who jumps on the idea of, kind of stunt casting and saying, why didn't voice actors get these roles? And there's an argument to be made there, but I look at this cast list and I'm just like, I see this. I see these people in these roles. I see it. And then Allison Janney as the kind of the villain of the piece, Margot Needler. So it's a fairly stacked cast. No question. And, I'm very excited for this now. Because they were animated Addams Family movie, and I was like, I will watch that on Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now I'm like, okay, you have my attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the cast looks awesome, especially Oscar Isaac. Man, what a get!
I'm curious to see how he does Gomez. I'm very, very curious to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it gets me excited because of the Star Wars fanboy that I am, because then it makes me think, well, maybe he'll do some whatever the next Resistance or whatever is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's cool. It's cool. Now this is a series that I've never seen. I've never seen How to Train Your Dragon. But there's a third one coming out.
Yeah, you should. They're good movies.
Yeah, I just never. Maybe I saw the first one. It was the Black Dragon, right?
Yeah.
It was like biting everything, but yeah, I think I've seen the first one.
Yeah, you should watch the second, because the first one is very, it's DreamWorks animation, so the first one is very like, hey, we made an animated movie for kids that kind of has sort of a message to it kind of deal.
I think that's what happened. I watched it with my nephew, but that's all I remember of
and
it.
And that's perfectly the target audience. The second one is a little more grown up.
Not
like mature, but like, the characters got a little older, so they have to deal with some kind of, growing up problems. And then the third one, the same way, these characters have aged a little bit more, they've matured a little more, so now they really have to deal with some more serious stuff. And it's a good series. The trailer looks awesome. And I'm excited. And this is going to be the last. Cool. Like, they're making this a trilogy, and that's going to be that.
Oh, really? They're not going to do, 7 more like every other animated movie?
No, God.
That's awesome.
I'm glad that they're like, no, this is the story. And it's good, because there's been a definitive character arc, and not just for the main character either, but a lot of the side characters. You've gotten to see them grow and change, and that's been fun. That's
cool. Yeah, because, isn't that what, happened with Shrek? It went to, okay, what are we on now? And then it just kind of dwindled into obscurity.
Because they did Shrek 2, and it made ridiculous money. It was the highest grossing animated film for a long-ass time. And it made ridiculous money.
Right.
And so they made Shrek the Third, which did not do tremendously well.
Right.
And nobody was kind of happy with how that one sort of ended, so they made Shrek Forever After. And that was the end of it. I have never seen the fourth Shrek. I cannot get excited enough to watch it. I really can't.
No.
I don't know. One day I might, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
But, they were wise enough to let it go at that.
Now this next one, I'm excited for.
Man, I was not expecting this.
Yes.
I was like, okay, Lego Movie Part 2 trailer. Oh yeah, the world has ended. I was like, hold on, the fuck? What? Time out?
Yes. The dark times.
Yeah. I love it, how it basically sets up, remember the little kid blocks that came at the end of the first one? Yeah. Basically they just kind of destroyed the world.
Yep.
Holy crap, okay. Wow. Alright, I'm interested in this. Cause it was I did not see that coming. And the trailer still has the comedy and everything to it. It didn't take a hardcore serious turn or anything.
No, but it was perfect.
Yeah, it was. It was just
Emmett is still as happy-go-lucky as he can be. Chris Pratt is just perfect for that. Yeah, it was great. I'm excited for it. All the little references and stuff like that.
God,
and it makes me wonder, because when I was watching, I was like, this is kind of like what their solo movie would be like, and it makes me wonder, what if I wish they would have done a Star Wars movie, just not solo. Someone that they would have, kind of like how they did with Guardians.
Yeah.
Where they have full reign to just do whatever they want with the characters. Because they make a great Lego movie, because it's characters we just don't know anything about, and they can do whatever they want with them.
Dude, you know what they're gonna do.
What?
They're gonna do a Lego Star Wars movie.
That would be awesome.
You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Star Wars will be in this one. It was in the last one.
Yeah, I mean, they had a reference to it, but you watch. There'll be a Lego Star Wars movie, I guarantee.
Do you think, though, because there's now been some bad blood,
yeah,
with those directors, really bad blood.
That's true. That is true.
Loss of millions of dollars.
Right,
bad blood.
but Lord and Miller didn't do the Batman Lego. They didn't do Lego Batman.
Okay, I get what you're saying. You mean they're going to do a Lego Star Wars movie, just might not be with those two directors. Gotcha.
Yeah, because they have their own spin-offs, like Lego Ninjago, which was a way better movie than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I'm sure. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
A Star Wars Lego movie? Hell yes. Yeah, that's their biggest selling franchise for Lego.
Yeah, so they'll get around to that, and I'm sure they'll have to tiptoe around the drama with Lord Miller. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah. Because I would love to see a fun Star Wars movie that's funny and kind of like because it just reminds me of what's that show that they did with the toys on Cartoon Network? Oh, what's his name? They were actually going to do a Star Wars show. They were going to do Star Wars Detours.
Oh, Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken, yes. It's kind of like Robot Chicken in a way.
There's some truth to that.
Just a little bit of that kind of humor. I think it'd be fantastic. But yeah, I saw the trailer and I laughed. I was like, yep, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, my buddy who went to MegaCon, he got a poster for the original movie, like a big movie theater size poster that is, on both sides or whatever. You can put it on a light or whatever.
Nice.
He totally wants the poster for that one too. Yeah, he's huge into Lego and stuff like that.
Very cool.
He's gotten into the Sideshow collectibles, which is a money hole. Have you seen the price of some of these things?
No.
So he's got an office and he's got all this stuff in it, just collectibles and stuff like that. And he has Drax. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Drax. He's got Star-Lord. He's got Rocket. He's got some Star Wars one, and they are so detailed. I don't know where you could go to look at I'm sure you can go online to look at the Sideshow collectibles, but seeing them in person, they're all handmade. But they're easy $200 to $500 for just a figure. Yeah, Sideshow Collectibles. You've probably seen them before. They're the ones that are just like insanely detailed. Like they have a Doctor Strange one with all the arms. It's nuts. But he's in love with all that kind of stuff, including like Lego. So he's super pumped for a Lego 2 movie. That's all he's been talking about. But yeah, man. Speaking of meta animated movies.
Yeah, we got the first official Wreck-It Ralph 2 trailer.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And there was an interesting connecting thread between the Lego movie trailer and the Wreck-It Ralph trailer.
What was that?
And it was in the female leads. Because in the Lego movie trailer, she's explaining like why Emmett's special. Or the special.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The alien who's like, wait a minute, so you master built and kicked ass and did all this stuff, and the lame dude gets the credit for everything? And she's kind of like, well, yeah. And then in Wreck-It Ralph 2, they're like, well, wait a minute, how are you a princess? You know, do you talk to animals? No. Do you have magic hair? No. Do people think that all your problems were solved when some big strong guy came along and rescued you from something? Yes. Oh my god, she is a princess.
Yeah.
I was like,
I love the messaging in those.
Yeah, because this is what happens when you have female screenwriters. You know,
Yep.
you get these things that will piss people off. I guarantee you, I go to work tonight and I hear some shit. I will guarantee you, I hear something about it. But
That's crazy.
But I'm just like, if that bothers you, then you are in the wrong. Man, I just, get over it.
Speaking of that, man, I guess we gotta talk about it for
we do.
a moment. Yeah. Rose from The Last Jedi. Her it's Kelly Marie Tran, right?
Yeah.
She bounced off social media, deleted everything on Instagram because she's just been constantly harassed. Racist remarks about her character, remark about her character's weight. I don't understand the mentality of attacking a real human over a fictional character that they play on screen. It's one thing to critique, art, or to be like, hey, the character didn't do anything for me, but to harass someone with real world consequences, to bully them, like, it's so sad, and it couldn't have happened to a sweeter person. Like, seeing her, because at the time, and usually when Star Wars comes out, I'm in full Star Wars mode, as you can tell. And I'm obsessing over all the videos and stuff like that. She was such a fanboy in all of them. Anytime, on the red carpet, she was crying with Daisy Ridley because she was like, I'm in a Star Wars movie. This is awesome. It sucks that people are just fucking terrible. Just dirt human. The director for The Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson, was on Twitter. He's like, this is what happens when we have man babies. And that's exactly, it's so true. Or no, he said something like, when we talk about man babies, this is what we're talking about. And it's so true. Like, who cares that you didn't like the movie? No one cares. And truthfully, no one cares that you like it either. Like, talk about things that you're excited about. It's okay to critique a movie, but there's a big difference between doing that and bullying somebody. And that's just what's insane to me.
And it's these same people who love to talk about how much they hate all of the. Now we have SJW Star Wars. Like, it's these people who
Right.
want to get on, who want to talk about, like, and then, all these people who hide behind their keyboards because they talk about things like equal rights and all that kind of awful apparent stuff. These are the kinds of people, these are the cowards that get on Twitter behind some username they've set up through an email account linked to nobody because they're cowards. And they will say whatever they want because there is no repercussion for them.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off more than anything, is that people like this are part of this fandom. That we have that we have this own sort of empire in the middle of all of this. You don't get to be part of this rebel alliance and be a bigot or some kind of just disgusting, misogynistic, racist coward.
For the record, Star Wars has always been about fighting for, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, if you're not a fan of that, get the fuck out. This is not for you.
Amen.
Go to 4chan. Go to some toxic place where you're going to be alone, or you'll be surrounded by people just like you, I guess. But there's no room for that. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't get people that are, the first thing they'll say, well, I don't like her character, but it's like, you don't have to say that. You're not a blog. Unless it's in a critique sense, why even say that? Why? Why go on a picture of her on Instagram where she is on vacation, showing you that she's doing whatever? Why feel the need to be like, I hate you, I hate your character, why don't you die? All the just disgusting things that I saw. It's like, I can't imagine being a celebrity. Couldn't imagine being a female celebrity. Couldn't imagine being in a franchise like that where your character was not liked by somebody, so they feel the need to tell you to die. I don't know how they deal with that. That's just it. The only silver lining that I saw was the amount of support for her that poured out from that.
Yeah, what is it? The fan art for Rose movement. I hope that she gets her own comic out of all this.
I hope she gets her own comic. I hope that she is a big part of the next movie. I hope this doesn't sour her to the point where she doesn't want to be in another Star Wars movie.
Agreed.
And it might, honestly, that might be what happened. She might not want to be in another Star Wars movie. And I couldn't even imagine that. And it just sucks. Yeah, I saw a lot of support online, and that was good. And I think that's what's important here. So if you need to be vocal, if you see someone doing that, don't get into a 30-minute argument with someone online, but just be like, no, that you're a nightmare person. I'm calling you out, and I'm going to be blocking you for that. It's crazy. Yeah. I saw, it's nuts. It's nuts. And this isn't unfortunately the first time this has happened. It's just, because of the internet and the way it is right now, people are way more vocal. The prequels came out, and if you thought The Last Jedi was bad, but you look at the prequels, I can't even imagine. And that's what sucks, is as much as some people didn't like some of the prequel movies, and me and you have both talked about the fact that we enjoyed them. We actually were on the side of liking those films. Imagine being one that hates them so much that you bully the kid into him putting it, the life that he had, where he was bullied out of school. He ended up going to jail and just had a troubled life after that. And he a lot of it has to do with the fact that he had issues because he was in Star Wars, because kids treated him like shit. And I can't imagine that. You know what I mean?
No, the only way to beat this is to just drown it out with positivity.
Yeah.
It really is. To say, look, these guys are vocal, and they're loud, and they're obnoxious, and they're awful people, but we are more than that. There are more of us who aren't complete and total wastes of humanity than those of us that are. And eventually, they will go away. Yeah. And it's it sucks that that's where we are. It sucks that that's part of what, the freedom of the internet and freedom of speech entails. It sucks that that's part of it, but it's our responsibility to counter that. And I don't mean, throwing these people out of windows, although that's not always the worst idea in the world. I mean through showing support and saying, no, fuck these people. Get them the hell out of here. There's no room for you. There's no place for you. This is what it's about. It's about appreciating this. It's about saying, this is what we are. This is who we are. And I saw people get so upset when they announced that Lando was pansexual. And all I heard was like, oh my god, it's pandering. Oh my god, it's pandering. It's space. not everything in the galaxy is going to be anatomically built the same way humans are.
Right. And it's one thing to say, I watched the film and I didn't really see that, and it's another thing of getting actively upset and harassing someone because of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference there.
If you're that upset about something like that, I feel sorry for you. I genuinely pity you that that's something that you feel like you have to feel strongly about that, because apparently there is so little else going on in your life that you're like, this is so important to me, I must act on this. Really? It's a movie, dude. At the end of the day, it's a movie.
Right.
Like,
if you've said the phrase "that ruined my childhood," you got a problem.
Yeah.
Like they could do a Star Wars My Little Pony movie, and I'd probably be there to go see it, right? Even though I don't like My Little Pony, have nothing to do with that. It's probably not the right direction I would go if I was in charge of the property. I would never in a million years say they ruined my childhood. I would just be like, okay, that's a thing that exists and someone's going to like it.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, if they said that they were going to, they were going to, I don't even know. I'm just trying to think of like directions that I would have zero interest in. I wouldn't care, because everything that's come out I've enjoyed for the most part, and nothing's going to change, me being 10 years old and sitting down and watching it, on the TV and playing with my brothers and everything else. Like, nothing's going to ever change that. So when I hear that, what, you have nothing else going on in your life, nothing positive where that you're looking forward to, or that you could put your time and invest into, than to just be a terrible garbage person.
Yeah. Like,
it just makes no sense. And that's why I want to make this very clear. There's a difference between critiquing something and then just being a garbage person. And that's totally not what this is. This is not someone going, her character, because I talked about their scenes with them at Canto Bight were not my favorites. I did not enjoy that part of the movie, but I loved her character. I want to see more of her, and I would never in a million years be mean to her or anyone like that online. And there's a big difference there, and I just, oh man, it's been interesting seeing Rian Johnson and a lot of them go after these people online, because it's like, look, a lot of them were, what about free speech? And it's just, you got to roll your eyes at that kind of stupid shit.
It's just, yes, you are allowed to say things, but then you are also allowed to be called on your bullshit.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And that's the biggest problem. It's in a way, it's another facet of everything that happened with Roseanne. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But there will be consequences. People forget that the whole idea of freedom of speech is that the government can't tell you what to say. It doesn't say that decent people can't call you out when you're being just complete trash.
And corporations have every right to can you if you're not aligned with their message.
Yeah, that's,
that's a no-brainer,
No, so just, if that's you, just get out. We don't want you here. You're not welcome here, and we're not going to tolerate you. We will stand behind Kelly Marie Tran and anybody else who has to go through this shit.
Exactly. It's perfectly okay you don't like a movie or what happens in it, but harassing someone online, that there's a clear line there.
Yeah.
And we're not with that. Never will be. It's crazy. And that's the thing, I couldn't even think of harassing someone online that I just really didn't like. I just can't think of that the time and energy someone would put into that. It's ridiculous.
I can't get my, look, and
I'm trying to think of people that have done real bad stuff, not like they were in a movie that I didn't like. You know what I mean?
Right. I can't muster the energy to slag off Jake Paul or any of that.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, people who are themselves, fairly garbage people. But I can't even muster the energy for that. I look at it and I go, it's not worth my time.
No, and it would be embarrassing. How we're not 13, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's what I imagine a lot of these people are. I saw Gary Whitta, he just he just corrected somebody because someone came after him because Gary Ritter's writing a comic, right? He's writing the Last Jedi comic for Marvel right now, and it's basically if you haven't read him before, it basically tells the story of the Last Jedi, but it might tell things that were not in the movie.
Right.
Scenes and stuff like that. And so he's having a fun time writing that. Of course, he's posting all over Twitter. And some guy tweeted him, "Good grief, another film and casting expert. Make your own damn movie." And he goes, "I've made several. One of them was Star Wars. Check my bio." It was just so good. And then the guy, of course, deletes his Twitter.
Of course. Yeah, that's the other part of this cowardice. You get called out on your crap and you just run away from it. Oh, nope, never said it. You can't prove anything. Own it. My Twitter handle is my name, not just for a professional reason, but also because, look, this is me. This is what I say. Are there times where I have said stupid crap? Yeah, probably. And I imagine you go back to because I've never gone back through my timeline for however long I've had this.
Anytime Facebook pops up and it says on this day, I am just delete. What the fuck was I thinking? Delete.
I look at that and I've judged a couple where I've gone, you know what? That was a stupid in the heat of a moment thing. And usually, this being me, I'm like, nobody saw it anyway, so who cares? I'll get rid of it. But if it's something that I get called on, as does happen, I'll look at it and go, you know what? I've learned from that. Yeah. And I was wrong.
Oh, yeah, because you grow. I mean, that's the thing. I look back at some of the stuff, what was I thinking? Why would I post that? That's crazy. Oh my God. So, yeah. So, we all say and do things we didn't like. And that's the thing. But even at that age, I didn't harass people. I didn't bully people. I didn't. It's just that's crazy to me.
There is a difference between oh my God, this was stupid, it's the worst thing ever, and that's a tweet you look back at and you go, yeah, that didn't need to be said. That's different than saying, oh my God, I hate you. You have to die because you ruined Star Wars. Fuck off with that. Just get out.
Oh yeah.
Just go away.
Oh yeah. This next bit of news, I'm not excited for, but I would never in a million years harass someone for.
No, and that was kind of the bad joke I put up on our Twitter account. Was this news made me so sad we couldn't record Tuesday night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, apparently Jared Leto's version of the Joker is going to get a standalone film. Now, I'm wondering, wasn't there a report of Scorsese doing a movie?
Yes. There are
these two Joker movies?
There are currently at Warner Brothers 2 different Joker movies in development, I guess.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that somebody recovers from the aneurysm that they unfortunately had and scrap this project.
Yeah, I don't get it. Whoever wants that movie is happy, but this is one of those things. I think there's a big difference between a movie that's in production and being made and pushed forward, then I think DC's hey, we're thinking about this.
Yeah, there's a difference between development and production.
Yeah.
This is because I think the Scorsese one is in pre-production. I think now it may still be. It may be
I would much rather that film than this one.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah, in a heartbeat. Because it's more of a because it's an organized crime film. Because the Joker has his roots in gangland crime.
Right.
So, I mean, there's, that's a story to be told. I don't care what the backstory for Leto's version of the Joker was because I really, really did not like that at all. Yeah. And I don't want to see that.
Right.
And I don't know a lot of people that do either. But
yeah, that was really odd. I was of all the go make a Batwoman movie. Go do
she's gonna be on Arrow.
But still, there's you have all of DC Comics at your. Go make a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie. Go do something. Go make I know the Green Lantern didn't do good, but go make another Green Lantern movie. They could totally work.
And for every step forward you think that Warner Brothers is making with DC properties, where you're Wonder Woman 2, okay, cool. This looks great. They got Patty Jenkins back. They're going to do all kinds of awesome stuff. They're talking about revamping some of their future movies. Aquaman might potentially be something cool. Shazam looks like it'll be kind of an awkward funny. And I'm down for that. And then you get news like this. And you're
Yeah.
Oh, you've learned nothing.
Well, the thing is I've never been a fan of villain-only movies. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't want a Doom movie. I don't want a Joker movie. I don't want a Kingpin movie. Like, I don't want my protagonist to be the villain. And to me, that's not interesting, especially if the other person's not in the film. Like, Batman has to be in the movie because that's why people are going to go see it. And that's the thing. Like, unless you're doing like a Jason Todd or something where he's the good guy and then he's not. I don't know. Joker. Even if it was Heath Ledger, I would not want to see a Joker movie. I'd be more excited for that, obviously, but I just wouldn't. That's not what I want to go see in the theater.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't think a movie has enough time to tell a good enough story where the villain is the main character. I don't know. Then I think about Avengers: Infinity War, but that's like a different animal. They're at least all in the movie, you know. But I don't know. Just I don't see the Joker as a movie working. But I guess we're gonna get 2 of them, and I'm sure we'll both go and see them. So, well, I don't know. We're part of the problem, I guess.
I don't think I'll go see if they do Leto's Joker. I genuinely think I won't go see it.
Yeah, me too. Maybe that's where I'll put my money where my mouth is. The Scorsese one I will definitely see, but
that one I'll go to. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's it for movies. We're actually running out of time. We got some Teen Titan news.
Yeah, Tara Strong said that if she said there may be a new season of the original Teen Titans cartoon, and that's going to depend on if Teen Titans Go to the movies does really well, which means we will not see a 6th season of Teen Titans, because that movie's going to bomb.
You think it's going to bomb?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
When does it come out?
I don't know.
That movie looks funny as hell.
Yeah, the trailer looks great. But watch an episode of the show. I dare you.
If it's anything like the movie, it looks funny.
It's not though.
Oh.
It's like the problem is the movie. The trailer looks great because you've got all those jokes in a trailer. Now imagine all of those jokes beaten to death over the course of an episode.
Oh. I mean, it's not for us. That's definitely not geared for us. But I imagine kids would like that. I don't know. I saw the trailer and I was like, I would totally see my nephew eating this up. I would totally take him to go see that.
I kind of hope so because again, I'm with you. This is not made for us. This is made for our generation's kids. And, again, we're on this soapbox of we have to stop thinking they make everything for us because they don't. But I'm just not.
For the animated movie trailers that I've seen, Incredibles looks like the top.
Yes.
This one looks right below that with Wreck-It Ralph and Lego. I don't know. Just to me, it's kind of in that category, maybe a little bit lower. But it looks funny. It looks like an animated movie that I could enjoy with my nephew. So I hope it does good. I've never seen an episode of it. I think I've seen clips, so I understand the humor. And I think when this replaced the other Teen Titans, a lot of people got upset because they were like, "This is for kids, right?" But I don't know. It doesn't look like it costs that much to make, so. I don't know. They just need to release it where there's nothing around it. It can't come out right now.
That's a problem. It comes out July 27th at the end of summer before everybody goes back to school on the same weekend as the next Mission Impossible film.
God.
So
put these movies out in February.
Put this one out 2 weeks later. There is nothing coming out in August. Bump Teen Titans Go ahead 2 weeks and make it do a whole big last thing like, hey, school's getting ready to start. Come out and see this and enjoy the end of the summer kind of deal. It's the advertising there writes itself.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh boy. But and it's got some it has a lot of young actors voicing it also has what's his face Nicolas Cage as Superman. There's a lot of meta things in there.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
A
lot of silly things.
I will go see it because I want this to do well because I want more of the original Teen Titans series. But I don't see this doing as well as they want.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Lil Yachty as Green Lantern, so I don't. It's so silly, and the joke with the atom when he hits the windshield, it just to me that's like Jimmy Kimmel was Batman. Like, I mean, it looks funny. It definitely does. All right, so where are we? What else we got here? We got some video game news. We talked about pretty much all of this.
Just about, yeah.
So yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey was leaked, and then Ubisoft confirmed it.
Yeah. So that's good. We're gonna get a what is it, like Roman style?
Greek,
okay, Greek style Assassin's Creed. So that's
the
cool.
ancient Greek. Well, we had ancient Egypt, so now we'll go to ancient Greece.
Oh, we should get a lot of ship battles in this one then.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But yeah, so that's it for the show. We will be back next week. We'll mostly probably talk about whatever they announce at E3. So that will be probably the bulk of our show next week. I will still probably be in Star Wars mode, so expect some weird shit. But yeah, we'll be back. Make sure you go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you go to our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep, and shoot us an email, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. And till next time, we'll be back. Captain.